Hey, Irene. Hello, hello. I am waiting for my camera leg to catch up to see if we're close enough here on the view. I'm trying to figure out how to adjust my lighting a little bit better too. Maybe, let's see here. Maybe we can go up a little bit. How's that look for you? Does that look okay? How's everybody doing today? Hi, Carrie. Oh, the constant struggle of getting logged on and then trying to get the view to work just right here. How's that look for you guys? Is it going to be close enough, or I'm having trouble getting it to zoom in? Let's see, maybe I can drop it a little bit more. We are experiencing the most heavenly rain right now. It started about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours ago. And I could not be more thankful. It has been so awful hot and it looks good. Okay, thanks, Carrie. It has been so hot and we've had so many forest fires in this area that you just constantly feel like you're swallowing a campfire. It's really, and I worry so much for the people whose homes are in danger. Let's see, so I see Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, this is one of my favorites too. I was so excited when it showed up again, and what perfect timing, right? Just before fall, when we can, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you car sick here. Just before fall, I don't know about you, but summer has previously been one of my favorite times of the year, but this summer, I'm ready for it to be over, and I'm looking forward to fall and the cool mornings and evenings and just the change of colors, and just looking forward to it and wrapping up in warm sweaters. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. So I don't know how many are joining us. It's probably dinner hour or shortly after, where a lot of you are. So I'll just get started here pretty quickly. We are coloring this set here, and it's one of my favorites. It's by the artist Cheryl Grant. We're going to color Lucas with his pumpkin in the wheelbarrow today. And I've got that pre-stamped and ready to roll. And I was going to show you also the, I colored this pumpkin. I haven't had a chance to make it a card yet with it, but this is the, what do I want to say? The August freebie. Hi, Kim. Hello, hello. This is the August freebie this month, and I love this pumpkin. And I found this really cool new color combo just messing around the other night when I was coloring, and I really loved how it turned out. So I got to get it on a card, but I think I'm going to try that similar color combo on Lucas's pumpkin because I think it's really pretty. And I had used the I wish I would write these things down after I love them because then I forget, but I think it's the R08 and the R05 and a YR23, and maybe I think I also had a Y15 in there. I'm going to grab that just in case. So I know I love this stamp set of the month. Okay, so I'm just going to sit this off to the side as kind of a guide for me as I'm working on this. And then I'm going to get started on Lucas. One of the things that helps me when I'm coloring, I often, if I'm just in a mode to color, I'll sit down and color. But sometimes what happens to me after the fact is I can't find papers or and actually that hasn't been as much of a problem now that we have so many great stencils, because if you don't have the colors in the paper that you want, you just grab one of our amazing stencils, and there's pretty good chance that with 40 some colors that you're going to find one that matches pretty closely with what you've colored somehow on your image. So we're pretty lucky that way to have such great stencils to do that with. But when I'm using patterned papers, I find that if I look through my papers first, it gives me inspiration on how I might want to color my image. So I pulled a few really cool papers. I think I've decided on which one I want to use, but I'll just kind of show you what I was thinking. So since there's this pumpkin in this image, I thought, oh, it'd be fun to have a piece of paper with some pumpkins. So here's a really pretty piece of paper from P13, I think it is. And I love the pumpkins on this. So this one also could give me some guidance in the sense of how I might want to color the pumpkin on the stamp set in the wheelbarrow. So that might be kind of cute on a piece of paper like that. There's also this fun set, and I can't remember. I think this is Echo Park maybe. And this has got a lot of neat fall colors to kind of pull inspiration from. I love fall, it's got the fall colors, but I decided that that was a little bit busy of a background to put with this because I might focus more on the words than I would on the image. So I decided to, switch that out. Carrie says, I must have too much paper. I have never not found something. You might. Oh, Kim, I was not going to give that away, but you did. You're right. That P13 paper pad is part of the August add-on bundle. That was a really sneaky peek on my part. I wasn't going to say it, but you're the boss, so you get to. But what I ended up with, and you will see me using some of that paper on our new release because it is freaking a gorgeous paper and you guys are going to want the August add-on bundle. Trust me, you are going to want it. I can hardly wait to show you guys. Waiting is the hardest part about the new release, because we do it early and then we have to wait to share with you and it's just a bummer. So the other thing I ended up with then, this is Doodlebug paper, and I loved the colors in this real light small plaid, and I thought that would look really great on this, with this stamp set. And then there's also all these adorable leaves with all of the fantastic colors that would go along with this too. So I'm going to use this paper, these two paper sheets for inspiration on how I'm coloring my image today. So I'm just going to put it off to the side. Is anyone coloring along with me today? I apologize. I didn't make up my color list ahead of time, and but I'll kind of try to jot it down as we go so that when you watch the replay, you will see it. Let me grab a pen. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to start with my traditional skin coloring, and what I like to use there is my E04, E11, E21, and E00. And then I sometimes use a little bit of R20 for the cheeks, so I'm going to grab that. It's actually cool enough for me to sit and have a cup of tea. It's so lovely. I'm telling you, it's so awesome. Okay, so I've got my skin colors, E04, E11, E21, and E00. And we're going to start with the E04. I usually start dark to light. Unless I'm working with a really tiny image, that's generally how I like to color. It seems to work well for me. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start, try not to get my hand in the way so you can see what I'm actually doing. And I'm just going to add some shading under Lucas's hair. I'm not going to go crazy with this E04 because it is pretty dark, but I do want to add a little bit of shading around his face. And around under his chin where his scarf is. And I'm just kind of going with the very edge of my marker, just the tip really of it. Not getting real heavy-handed. And I'm envisioning that my sun is coming in from this direction. I don't pay a lot of attention to light source, but I mean I try to, but mostly I just color. So I'm not the best teacher when it comes to that, but that's how I kind of look at it. My next color in the series would be to use the E11. And I'm just going to come back over. I'm going to extend a little bit from where I just was. And this time I'm using a little bit more of a stroke. And I'm going over a good piece of what I just laid down with the E04. I don't want it to completely disappear, but I want to soften it. So I'm just kind of picking up and then pulling in to where I've been. I don't want him to look too suntanned because it is fall. So again, just kind of keeping a little bit of that shading. Touch up his ear. And then I'm gonna grab E21. My E21's getting kind of dry, so I'm hoping that it makes it through this whole session without looking streaky. And now I'm going over mostly just exactly where I've been before, but lighter when I get toward the previous colors. But I am still kind of going over them because I want to pull in some of that color. And I'm coming in toward the middle of his face. And I'm kind of just feathering a little bit because I don't want to create like a circle in the middle of his face. And then I'm going to grab my E00. Hopefully I'm going to grab my E00. And that's going to be my last color. And I'm just going to fill in. And now I'm using the broader point of my marker because I'm coloring in. I want to get a bigger color. I'm not worried about fine lines right now. I'm just trying to smooth out my color and get it in there. Don't want to forget his ear. I often forget ears on the side of faces for some reason. Okay, so there's his face. And it looks a little dark right now, but it's gonna look better when we get his hair done. Let's see, should I give him a little bit of rosy cheek? We could give him just a little bit. I usually just kind of dab it in there a little bit while it's still wet. Because it is fall and he's working hard, maybe he's a little flushed. So that was R20, and then I'm gonna take my E0 again, and I'm gonna just kind of go over it where I was. So I don't have just a blob of pink. There we go. Now I'm just going to repeat that same process on his hand. And his hand is pretty small, so I'm just going to take just a tiny bit like I did before. I'm just on the very tip of my marker under his sleeve where I would imagine it to be kind of shaded, and maybe on the back side of his hand a little bit, under his thumb. So just the tiniest bit, right? Then I'm going to take again, I'm repeating my steps. I'm going to do not E21, E11. And I'm just going to fill that in. Just again, I'm going to just barely touch where I was with that darker color, but I don't want to completely absorb it. Then we have the E21. And his hand is further away from his face. So, you know, it can be, and away from the light source. So it can be a little bit darker than his face would be. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that. Oh my gosh, I forgot this set was on sale. Sweet, I picked a good one. I just really wanted to color it. Let's see here. And then E00 is my last, and I'm just filling in and going over everything, kind of smoothing out my lines and my shading. Again, his hand's gonna look a little darker. It's further away, that's okay. And he's gonna have a sock on, so I'm not gonna color that, so. Okay, so that's our skin tones. And next I'm gonna color his hair. And his hair, I'm gonna use E47, E44, and E41, if I can find it. Yeah, E41. So 47, 44, 41. Let me write that down here. Okay, and I'll put it, let's see, I don't know where we can see it. Maybe you'll see it there. I can move this over a little bit more. Okay, so let's work on our hair. And I'm gonna start with, for his hair, I'm gonna start with the E41. And I'm just gonna pull in kind of where I think I wanna add some, what do I wanna say? Some, oh, not swoops, but feathers of color that kind of follow along with what I'm envisioning his hairline is here. Then I'm going to come down from the top a little bit. I think that's kind of where I want it. So I'm gonna add, then I'm gonna take my E47, which is my darkest color, and I'm gonna go back over where I just was because I like how that is. So I'm just gonna kind of follow it. And I'm gonna keep moving that out of the way because I keep knocking it with my hand. So I'm just gonna come back in right where I was before. And I'm just gonna add that color in. I'm going darker around his ear, darker at the tips, and again, this is the back side of his head, so it's not going to have as much sunlight. The trick is you got to have good eyes to see what you did before when you lay down your shading, which I'm generally not super good at lately. All right, and then I'm going to come from his part here at the top, and I'm just going to add down some color. I don't want it to look streaky. I'm going to fill it in with the next color. And I want to try to leave some white space in there too, so that it looks like it has some, I don't know, not necessarily a highlight, but you know, a shimmer on top. Not a shimmer, good gracious, that's a girl, right? The sunlight on his head, that's what I'm talking about. It's serendipity. Okay, so here we go. Let's add, now this is the E44. And I'm just kind of, I'm not gonna go completely over where I was, but I'm filling in some more, and I'm just kind of feathering in more color from where I was. But I am touching where I was before a little bit and just extending it because I don't want it to look harsh, but it is part of his hair. And where I think my lines are a little too strong, that's where I'm going to go over it a little bit more with this little bit lighter color. Hey, Janet. And then I'm going to take my E41 last, and I'm going to just kind of fill in a little bit more. And I'm not being super careful. Uh-oh, what happened to my computer here? Come back, computer. Got to be able to see what's happening. Oh dear. Hang on, folks. Technical difficulties. Let's see here. Okay, so I think we're good. All right. I can't see my comments on my phone, so I've got to be able to look at my computer every so often. All right, so see what I mean about kind of some lighter colors in there? How's that look? I think it's okay. Oh, I missed some comments. What's your biggest challenge, Rosie and Janet? Is it hair? Is that what you said when my computer went to sleep on me? Let's see. Okay, so going back to hair. Yes. You call it a win. Thanks, Rosie. That's funny. And sometimes I let it just sit for a bit, and I may probably, oh dear, I messed up down here. That looks like a boo-boo that needs to be covered. Wonder what I got out of my hand. So I probably, after it sits for a bit, come through and just very lightly tip the ends, again with that really dark, the E47 color, just kind of touch it up a little bit, but I'm gonna let it be for now. So using my papers that I'm, for my color inspiration, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna give him a kind of yellowish shirt. I was trying to decide if I wanted to give him blue jeans, a green shirt, and a yellow scarf, or a yellow shirt and a green scarf. I think I'm gonna go with the yellow shirt, so let's try that. And for that, I am going to do, I'm gonna do kind of a softer yellow. I'm gonna do a Y21 and a YR31. And I may throw in a YR23. We'll see if we need it. I'm gonna write it down until I know if I need it, so. Okay, so next would be, so I'm gonna start with my Y21. And I'm gonna come in where, along the creases, where I want it to be a little bit darker. Down here at his sleeve, at the bottom. So that piece is pretty skinny right there, so I'm not gonna worry too much about the fact that I just kind of colored most of it in, because it's pretty little. Oops, I went into the scarf. So I'm just kind of adding some, and I'm not being super careful. I'm going to make his whole cuff a little bit darker, I think. And then I want his pocket to be a little darker. And hopefully this is going to work. And like I said, if I need to come in and give it another different color, I will probably bring in maybe a little bit shade light or brighter of the YR23. Sorry, Y23. So let's see, then let's do our YR31. And I'm just going to fill in where I was before. And I'm going to go over the top of where I've been for the most part, except for the pocket. And it looks like I am awfully close in my colors, so I'll probably add a little bit richer yellow maybe. I kind of like that color though, it's pretty. I just want to make sure I don't lose where I was trying to create some definition in his shirt. So let's see, what could we do with that one? Let's try, oh hey, let's try this. This is a YR24. And I'm gonna try that, and then I'm gonna try blending it out a little bit. So I'm just gonna come in where the creases are and where the little pocket is. Oh, I kinda like that, that's kinda cool. And then I'm going to color the cuff a bit more on both sides. There, that's gonna give it just a little bit more definition. And then underneath here, oh, I kind of like that. What do you think? Okay. I don't want to let that sit too long because I don't want it to have like a harsh line. So I'm going to grab my, I'm going to grab my Y21 again. And I'm going to, oh yeah, I like this yellow color, Carrie. I kind of just color plucked based on the papers and wasn't really like 100% sure what I was getting. But I like it. It's like one of those happy like things we try and it works out good. So I'm just kind of going over where I was before, and this is again the Y21. And then I'm gonna come in one more time. And I don't usually, thank you, Natalie. I'm not usually one of these colors that, you know, does 4 layers. Like I don't color and then dry and have it go back and do another layer. I'm kind of a one and done kind of color, or, you know, so I like it to have some layers of depth to it, but and unless it's something that's just bugging me, or if I only have one color, kind of doing the tone on tone kind of thing, like the hair, where I don't necessarily want to mess it up and pick a different color. If I like what I got going on, I just want it to be a little darker, then I may do another level of it, of the same color. So like this, for example, the brown that I was talking about, you know, so now just coming in and doing the tips just a little bit more, because I kind of felt like I lost them after I got done with all the shading. So I'm just kind of bringing those back in a little bit. Try to move my hand every so often so I'm not covering what you're trying to see. See, I mean, and it's so subtle, but yet it just adds that tiny, tiny bit more by coming in and adding the same tone, but waiting for your colors to have settled a little bit. Oh, I know, saffron, that's right. That's a great way to call it. I like that name. I think you're right, Kim. So again, pulling my papers in that I'm working from. Oh, I think I did pretty good. Look at that. That's great. That's gonna look really good on there. Okay, now we're gonna do, let's see, I'm kind of working top down. So I'm gonna do his scarf next, and I picked a green for his scarf, and I'm wondering if maybe I should do blue. I don't really have any blue in there. Maybe I'll wait and do his scarf last, but I'll have blue jeans. Yep, we're gonna do his scarf. So for his scarf, we are going to do, what are we gonna do here? We're gonna do a YG63. Let's write this down here, scarf. And I'm not sure my other color quite yet, so I'm just gonna start with YG63 and see how that goes. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna color it in, one color. I'm not focusing on shading right now because I'm kind of deciding what my other color will be that plays well with this. And you know, this might be one of those ones where I'm not sure that I need another color other than maybe just to add. Oh, thanks, Janet. I kind of do too. These I love fall colors. Oh my goodness, I love fall colors. I really love all colors, but fall colors are just, I don't know what it is about them that makes me feel happy and cozy. I think it's, you know, because the fall colors are the most, I don't know, natural maybe. So that was the YG63. I'm going to just let that sit for a bit and decide if I want to just add another tone to it. I could, let's see, I could kind of play over here on the side a little bit, since I know I'm probably going to be cutting this out, and just see what, so this is YG97. And let's see how that plays with, it's a little too dark, but I could maybe blend it in if I touched it real soft. Let's see here. But I'm just gonna let myself think about that for a bit, see what I wanna do. The rich deepness of the colors, absolutely. Or for the wheelbarrow, yes, absolutely, Kim, yeah. I think I'm gonna use G94 and 99 for the wheelbarrow maybe. Okay, so then we've got his jeans, and I'm just using my default blue jeans color, and I'm going to use for that, these are my B91, B93, B95, B97, and sometimes I put 99 in. I'm not sure if I'll touch that in or not. We'll see if we need it. So we're gonna start with the B97. And I'm going to pull up my sleeve so I can do this all right. And I'm just gonna real lightly, I gotta turn this just a titch, sorry guys. I'm just gonna real lightly go under, since this is such a dark color. I just wanna touch under the sweater where the shading is. I'm gonna go under the handle, around his hand. I'm going to come around the wheelbarrow just a little bit, then under this wheelbarrow or the arm again. And I'm just, like I did with the EO4, I'm just barely touching the tip of my marker. Oops, there I kind of got a little carried away, to the edges. I'm just using it as kind of a base, if you will. And at the bottom of his shoe. And it's okay that it's going to be a little darker at the bottom. Okay, and then we're coming back here, and he's got some wrinkles in his jeans, so I'm going to kind of try to keep them darker. Ugh, my dogs are going crazy all of a sudden. I don't know what they're doing. What are you doing, Buggies? What are you doing? What you so excited about, Isabel? Okay, so just a very light touch it up kind of starting point there. Then I'm gonna grab my B95 because I just want to build on that. Same as I've been doing on everything else. And I'm just gonna come back in, and I'm not gonna really go over where I was before, especially not under here. I'm just barely touching it, barely skimming it, because I don't want to, I want to keep that shading at the highest level, but I do want it to blend a little bit. So, and then I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit more. Oops, kind of got carried away there. And the nice thing about jeans is, you know, they don't have to be perfect, right? They're jeans. They're gonna have some variation in color. So that's my B95. Then I'm gonna grab my B93, and I'm gonna just keep repeating this process. I'm just kind of going over where I've been before, and I'm just gonna fill this in with the 93. I'm not gonna worry so much about the 91 up here because it's kind of shaded by the pumpkin. So even if it were lighter in texture, we wouldn't probably notice it. And now I'm just bringing in, and I'm just kind of almost using a feathering motion because I just want to just pull it in. I don't want to do like flicking because I don't want it to look like hair, right? But I'm just pulling it in, and I'm just kind of, I don't know, maybe feathering, pulling it in. I'm not sure what the right term is here. But I do want it to kind of, I don't want it to be kind of, I don't know, circular lines as I'm filling in my space. So I'm kind of just pulling it in with swooshes. Swooshes is my word of the day. Okay. And then 91, that's my last color. And I'm just gonna go in, and I'm just literally, I'm not gonna be too perfect about it. I'm just gonna almost squiggle it in. I wanna touch it up. I wanna get it in there. And kind of create some there we go. All right, and then I am gonna take, Hope it works and my hand doesn't start shaking, but this is the E99. So I'm gonna just come in and ever so very lightly touch up. Where I think I lost a little bit of and I'm just filling it in a little bit. All right, so just ever so lightly, and I think I am going to take one more time with the 97. And I need to pull in, I gotta turn this a little bit. So I'm gonna take this. Hello, Isabella. All right, and then I'm gonna grab the 95 and I'm just pulling in a little bit more. I just felt like I kind of gotta, there we go. That feels a little better to me. All right, we're almost there, folks. And then the 91 I'm gonna take. I'm skipping the 93 on this because I just wanna pull it in. There we go, I think we did it. I ended up with streaks and I didn't want them, but I'm not gonna worry about it because I think it's okay. I'll kind of squiggle it. See if that helps. There we go, there's his jeans. So far I'm digging the colors. I think they're working well. Okay, so then I'm gonna go back to my YG63. Our scarf is set for a bit, and I just wanna add another layer of color. And I didn't really find anything that I loved differently in terms of a shadow, blah, say that 10 times real fast. So I'm just gonna go over it in sections with this color once again. And I'm gonna try to create, oh, thank you, Janet. A feathered stroke, there you go. I need to, I would love to refresh myself on some of my coloring techniques and things. I haven't done that in a very long time, and I think it would be wonderful. And so his scarf is darker at the end, right? So I'm just kind of, again, I guess I'm feathering. Ah, shoot. Sugar bug. I got it too thick there, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna let that be and see how it looks in a minute or two. Okay, all right, so let's do his shoes. And I'm gonna use E43, if I can find it. There we go, E43 and probably E44 on the shoes. So let's just color those puppies up. I'm not worrying about his shoelaces being a different color. Oh, computer. quit that. I got to remember to refresh my computer every so often. All right, so I'm not worried about his shoelaces. I'm just laying down color. And I'm not worried about too much about different colors. It kind of covered his sock there, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about it. Then I'm going to grab E44. And I'm going to add just a tiny, tiny bit of shading around the shoelaces, around the bottom of his jeans, and right along the bottom of the shoe where the sole will be. And then I'm going to take my E43 again and just soften my line a little bit here, just a tad. And then I'm going to grab, oh gosh, I don't know, I didn't really grab anything for that, but I'm just going to use like a, we'll give it an N6 for the soles of his shoes maybe. Thank you, Kim. Yep, I'm just going to do an N6, and I'm just going to very lightly touch that with the tip of my marker. There we go. Look at him. Isn't he adorable? He is so cute. So cute. Okay, let's see. I wanted to do this leaf. And initially I was going to do it just kind of a green color, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't do like a, well, the pumpkin's going to be kind of red and orange, so I think I'll stick with a green. I'm so glad you got this set too, Janet. It is one of my favorites. I love it so much. Alrighty, so this time I'm gonna do my YG 63, which is what oops, what in the world? Oh, 93. This is a YG 93. This is what happens when you're old. You gotta go through, oh, you think red, Janet? All right, let's do red. Why not? Red would be, let's try, okay, let's try let's do like a reddish brown. How would that be? Let's try that. Let's try E19, which is, let's see what that looks like. So E19, oh yes, we got to do that. That's pretty. Let's do that. Okay, so the leaf is going to be E19. We're going to try that, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit here. And I'm going to do the E19 at the base. Oh, I like that color. Good suggestion. I love red, so you think, yes, red will go good with the orange pumpkin. Very good point. So that was E19. I better write that down. Let's see, and a good piggyback off of that could be, I don't know, this might be too red, but this is E07. Let's see what E07 looks like. Let's try it. Let's grab E07 next. Kind of feather that in. Kind of blended, but that's okay. We're gonna give it a little touch of brown at the bottom, I think. That's pretty. I like that color combo. How about if we take YR09? Oh yeah, there we go. And I think as that dries a little bit, we're gonna see the little bit of kind of fiery orange pop out of that. And then I will still take a brown of some sort. Let's do E59. I know, I thought about that too, Kim. Red for the wheelbarrow would be so pretty. I'm nervous about doing that much red in a color along because reds tend to bleed on me sometimes, but I'm thinking about it. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Great suggestion. Thank you, Janet. I like the red. All right, let's do our puppy dog next. And for him, I'm just gonna go with the W series. So I'm gonna do a W7, a W5, and a W3 on the dog. So let's see here, flip my paper over. W7, W3, W5. Let's try that. Okay. And he's tiny, so I'm not going to start with my darkest color on him, but I am going to start with my middle color, which is the W5. And I'm just going to come in and feather in some color using the W5. I'm imagining him as like a Scotty dog or a Yorkie dog. I kind of think that's what he looks like to me. I'm not going to make him super dark, but I'm just kind of testing the waters to see if I want more of this color or a little bit lighter. Oh, that's a very good tip, Kim. I never think to color from the middle, but that's a very good tip. And oh yeah, always with the caps off. My reds right now are kind of gummy, my red reds. And I know it's because I need to clean them, but it seems like I can't keep them clean as long as my other markers. They just get gunky so fast. They're so saturated. All right, let's see here. So I'm kind of liking this color. I may decide to deepen it a little bit. But what I think I'll do before I do that is add a little of the lighter and see what I think, and then maybe add a little bit more of this again. Let's try that. So that was the W5. So let's try W3 next. And I'm just gonna pull in, I'm just gonna come in here and blend in where I was before. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. And I'm just going to kind of keep his eye, well, a little bit of it white. He is a cutie patootie. Okay, so I don't mind that as an overall color, but I do think I want just a little bit more of the darker in there. And I'm not sure, let's see what happens when I put a little of the W7 in there. And I'm just gonna be careful. I'm gonna make his tail a little darker. Pull in a little bit under here. I'm going to give the underside of his paws maybe a little bit more of the dark. Not being very adventuresome with this color here, but I do want him to have kind of a little darker eyebrow. Oh gosh, that's cute. Okay, and then I'm going to give him a darker nose, which is the W7. And then I'm going to take that W5 again, and I'm just going to add back a little bit more of what I would think of as his fur here. Like on his belly, around his face a little bit more, his ear, the underside of his paw. There, let's see here. And then I'm going to take the Y3, I keep saying Y. I'm going to take this 3 for the last time, and I'm just going to smooth out my shading just a little bit here, because it'll blend nicely. And it should look mostly like fur. Oh, good gracious, he's cute. Oh, he's so cute. Let's give him a red collar. I think a red collar would be cute on him. So we're gonna go with kind of, I don't know, a muted red, I think of it. It says strong red, but to me it seems like it's a little softer red, and it is the R46. And I mean, it's a tiny little collar, so I'm not gonna put a ton. I'm just gonna color it in there very quickly and let it be. Ta-da! Okay. Next, let's do the stem of the pumpkin. And for that, I am going to go with, I pulled colors earlier, but I'm rethinking my choices. Let's see. Let's do the E47 on the stem of the pumpkin. And after that sits for a minute, I'm probably going to put a little bit darker color again at the base, and that would probably be a 49. So I'm going to keep that up here so I don't forget. Okay, pumpkin time. Oh, I'm so excited about the pumpkin. I wonder if I should save it till last. So I have a question for you. When you're eating something you absolutely love, do you eat, so you have a plate full of different things that you like and maybe one thing that you really love. Do you eat what you love first, or do you eat what you love last? So what do you do? I'm anxious to hear what your thoughts are on that, because my family, my son and I do it one way, and my husband and my daughter do it another way. So I'm curious to hear what you do. Just kind of a fun question, kind of like coloring. What do you color first? What do you save for last? Okay, so let's do our pumpkin. And if I am remembering correctly, I don't think I used any 24. Oh, now I got my colors all over the place here. I gotta find my colors. That one, 24, 23. Okay, I think I got it. Last for Natalie, last for Kim. Okay. I'll see what somebody else says. Last for Natalie, last for Kim. Okay, so on my pumpkin before, and I'm going to pull this back over here. I'm going to, so I started, I believe it was with the 8. I can't remember for sure if I used just R5 first or R08, but I'm going to start with the R08, and I'm going to come in from the bottom, and I'm just going to pull in some of the colors, some of this R08, and I'm not going to go super heavy with the R08 because I probably came up further than I was wanting to, but I was busy watching comments. But the red, the R05, is going to pull it in even more. So I'm just right now, and then I am going to do this before I forget. And I'm going to touch a little color at the top. So I eat what I like the best first, because I don't want to be too full at the end of my meal and not be able to eat the thing that I loved the most. So I eat my favorite thing first, the thing that I like the best, and then I eat the rest of it. And that way, if I'm too full to finish it, I ate what I loved the best. So your mom told you to eat the expensive stuff on the plate first, the meat, leave the potatoes. You know what? I do that too. I'm like, well, I paid more money for the shrimp or the steak than I did for the potatoes, and I don't want to waste those. So that's exactly what I do too, Rosie. Your mom's a very smart lady. But that's my thought process. So my husband and my daughter save their favorite for last. My son and I eat our favorites first. Okay, so that's just a little aside there. Okay, so that was the R08. And then I'm going to add the R05, and I'm just going to go over what I did before, maybe just a little bit heavier. Just a little bit, and I'm just going to come up a little bit more. So now I'm just going over it, and I'm pulling it in. You think it makes sense, Kim? That's funny. Alrighty. Okay, so let's see here. And then what I did was I took the YR23 and I went over the top of all of it. And it looks kind of weird right now, but I think it's going to be fine. Let's see here. Let's just keep adding this. So this YR23 is kind of, can you see how it's kind of moving the orange a little bit? So it's kind of taking it and it's just kind of melding it all together, which is interesting. And then to get sort of some streaks, I'm going to come back in at the end. So that was the YR23. And then I think, again, I think I used like a Y15. It might have been a 13, but I'm going to try a 15. And I'm just going to do a couple strokes in each section of the really bright yellow. In just the middle, really. Like that. And then I'm just going to let it be for a bit. And then I'm going to pull in again with the R05 and the R08, a little bit more of that red one more time, but I'm just going to let it set and see what the color does right there. All right, so wheelbarrow time. I think I'm going to do a G99, I think. Let's test that. Oh, that's a little darker than I thought. And a G94. That's pretty similar to his scarf. What about a YG67? Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, I like that. Let's do a YG67. Okay, we're gonna do a YG67 on the wheelbarrow. Okay, and I think before I do the green, I'm gonna do the metal parts. And for the metal parts, I'm using some of my C markers. So I've got a C3 and a C5. And what did I do with it? A C1, I think, is what I want as well. Okay, so I'm gonna move that over. I'm gonna let that sit. And then I'm gonna start in with my metals here. So first I'm gonna do C5. And I'm just gonna come in at the junctions, if you will, of the metal pieces. And then I'm going to grab, just kind of pulling it in a little bit more here. Not being exact because my C3 is going to blend it in a little bit more. So that was C5, then I'm gonna do C3, and C3 is gonna come through, pull it through. And I can see that I got out of my lines a little bit here. So I'm going to pull out my handy dandy colorless blender and push my boo-boo back a little bit here. I don't know why my computer keeps going to sleep so fast. Come on, computer. Alrighty, let's see here. So that was my C series on those. For the wheel, oh, before I do that, let's put this in the middle here. Okay, so the wheel, I'm gonna try an N4 and an N, ooh, 7's a big jump, but I don't know, I guess I can't find my 6. So I'm gonna try this. So I'm gonna do an N4 and an N7 on the wheel. And I'm gonna start down here where it's the darkest. And then pull in N4. I can't find my 5 or my 6. I don't know what I did with them. They're probably laying somewhere on my craft desk. But we're gonna just pull in with the N4. Alrighty. You are, Rosie? Thank you, that's so nice. I'm surprised because I think you're a beautiful colorist. I think that's so nice. Thank you so much. Let's see here, and then let's push that in there a little bit. I kind of lost my definition on my wheel a little bit. So let's see, I'm gonna try and push back a little bit of that color with an N2. Just kind of see what happens when I go over that to see if I can get it to move it a little bit. Just give it back a little bit of that definition. We'll see what we can do here. All right, that's not too bad. I'm just gonna let it sit for a bit and see what happens there. You hear all my markers moving while I'm trying to find, ah, there it is, right there in front of me. All right, this is just C1 and I'm just using it to push where my darker wheelbase kind of covered up my metal. All right. Okay, good. Now we're on to the wheelbarrow. So what did I decide? I decided I wanted a green wheelbarrow and we're gonna do YG67. And let's see here. I think I'm gonna grab, yep. So I'm gonna do the YG63 and the YG67. And I'm going to start by putting my YG63 down. I'm not going to go all the way down under because I do want that part to be darker anyway. So I'm just kind of putting a little bit of a base color. Hi, Margaret. How are you? Nice to see you. Okay, so that was my YG63. And now I'm going to add the YG67. And I'm going to come in just up here where it's a little darker. I'm going to come in the inside where it's a little darker. I'm going to come under here. And I'm basically going to go all the way over what I just did. I just wanted to give it sort of a little bit of a lighter base because the darker color would set on top of that just a little bit. I like the green wheelbarrow. What do you guys think? Do you like the green wheelbarrow? You're watching from the campground? That would be sweet. This has a puppy. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does, Janet. I didn't remember it was on sale, and I forgot about the challenge, so that's perfect. So I definitely am going to have to finish my card afterwards and make sure to share. So now I'm going back over again, just at this top rail with the YG63. And I'm just going to hit the middle just a tad again in hopes that it will look a little bit lighter in the middle. But thank you, Natalie. But now I'm looking at it wishing I'd have gone with the red wheelbarrow like Kim suggested, but I like the green wheelbarrow. But I think I'm gonna have to color another one and have a red wheelbarrow because it would be so cute. All right, so the last thing I want to do is come back into my pumpkin, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the reddish color in there. And what I'm going to do is just base it down here at the very bottom. This is the R08. So I'm just going to come in. He is so cute. I agree, Jennifer. I agree, he's adorable. All right, I'm just coming in and this is the R08. Coming back in, I'm defining my lines around the pumpkin a little bit more. Again. And then I'm going to take the R05. Oh, I didn't do the handles yet. Perfect idea. Good idea, Kim. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, yes, perfect idea. I like that. Oops, but before I do that, kind of got outside my line again here. Let's see if I can push that back a little bit. Okay, let's see. So then I did the R08. Sometimes when I use that colorless blender, I don't know if it helps or not, but I blow on it afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking for a sec because I want to feather in. So this is the R05, you guys. And I am just coming back in. And feathering in the color. All right, and then as a last step, I am going to take that Y15 and just quickly again smooth it out a hair. Okay, so you can see that every time you color these, they're going to be a little bit different, which is so fun. Because, thank you, Carrie. See how I did this one? I don't know if the fact that the bottom isn't quite as round is throwing me a little bit, but look how cool that is. Oh, I love it. Let's see, but I do need to, I got my orange and my green, so I gotta come push that back a little bit. All right, and then I'm gonna grab some red, the red again, and I'm gonna color those handles red. Let's pick, oh, I don't know, let's try, we'll do the same red I did on his collar. Let's do the R46. Thank you, Kim. Yep, let's do the R46. We're gonna do the same color, but I'll just deepen it a little bit with one of the other reds. Oh goodness, that's cute. I like that. I like it a lot. That was the R46. And then let's grab an R29. Let's see what that does, if anything here. There we go. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. I love it. Love it, love it. Okay, and then I'm gonna die cut this out, so you won't see that, but I do see I have, you know, my boo-boo down there at the bottom, so clearly I'm gonna need to do something. Fall is, you know, fall is definitely now my favorite. Spring is rainy and kind of blah. Sometimes I do like when the flowers start popping up. Summer, I like if I can be outside a lot and by the water, but this year has been so hot and miserable that we haven't been able to be anywhere, really. So fall, though, is like a blessing. It's like a blessing from above, for sure. All right, let's see here. Well, thanks, Betty. Let's see, I did see I had a little spot over here, so I'm just gonna fix that real quick. And then let's see, so let's just give this, oh gosh, I don't know. Let's do kind of a straw-ish color maybe. I don't know, I may hate this, but I'm gonna try it. We'll try this first and see if I like it or not. It's not a color I've generally done as a shading for the ground, but well, what the heck? I've kind of done things different today, so that's all right. Okay, so fall is your favorite too, Natalie? Yeah. We are blessed, you know, to have seasons for sure. Let's see, so that was a YR24. I think I just laid it down and I don't know where it went. And so then I'm going to take this YR23, nope, take this YR31, and I'm just going to soften it a little bit. So I don't know. I don't really know that I love this color as a ground cover, but it's okay. Like, it just kind of goes with everything else. So I'm going to go with it. I think it's okay. But I do want to hit, oh, that was a 24. 27. Oh, no, that's too orange. I was gonna say YR27 might be kind of cool, but that would be too orange. Okay, so we're just gonna put, I'm just gonna put a little back of the shading under his shoes and under the wheelbarrow here. All right, what do you think? I think it turned out pretty good. My plan would be then to put it on these papers and finish my card. And I don't know if I mentioned it, I'm using Copic Express papers. I'm getting used to them. I had a favorite that I used for a long time, and then it just suddenly wasn't working very well for me anymore. So I've been trying different papers, and the Copic Express, it seems to work pretty well. It's pretty smooth with my markers, so, but at first I had a bit of a learning curve with it, I think. So thank you, Janet. Thank you, Rosie. I'm excited to finish this card and share it with you. And I hope that if you've been watching, or if you're watching the replay later, that I've inspired you to try maybe a color combo or to color up this darling stamp, and share it with us in the group. And if you haven't got this stamp, as Kimmie has reminded us, this one's on sale through tonight, and this is a fantastic fall set to have. We didn't color Lulu tonight, but she is stinking adorable too. Look at her. She's got the kitty jumping in the leaves. She's got the basket of leaves. So something like this would be so pretty with a leaf background or a leaf stencil or a leaf die. You know, things like that would be so pretty. Leaf shapes would be awesome, charms. And I will probably add one of these adorable sentiments, leaves are falling, autumn is calling, or wishing you a season of blessings. And I feel it's on sale till tomorrow morning, so you have a little bit more time. And I feel very, very blessed that you spent time with me today coloring. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again.